The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been around forever, since 1984. They've been in everything from TV shows to multiple movies, multiple variations of TV shows. But here we are again, 2023, a new decade, which means a new setup for more Turtles. The question is, though, how does this fare in relation to everything else that we've gotten? Is this another, Michael Bay attempt at, wham bam, flashy action in your face with some kind of questionable in some capacity variation on the Turtles, or is this something that's really just high-flying, fun, kinetic, in-your-face, action-packed, unbelievably brutal in some cases, extremely hilarious in others, and an overwhelmingly enjoyable time at the theaters? Mutant Mayhem is a wonderful movie in multiple capacities. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, visually, this movie's fantastic, but I expected nothing less from the guy who is responsible for Mitchells vs. the Machines. Visually, this movie is breathtaking. It looks great. These character designs are fantastic, and everybody is so unique looking and visually distinct. It's amazing. And in a situation like that, when you have something that's so visually wow and eye-catching, eye-popping, something somewhere along the lines has to let you down. Whether it's the voice acting, the storytelling, or whatever, it just has to drop the ball. We don't have that here. So we're going to keep this ball rolling, and we're going to go on to the voice acting. The four kids who have voicing the Turtles, never heard of them before in my entire life. This is the first time I've ever heard of them. They are wonderful. They are fantastic. They feel like they're brothers. They feel like they've grown up together. One of the points in the fan event, in that little opening 7-minute snippet with interviews and all, they said that they made it a point. They get the four kids in the recording booth at the same time to have that energy there, to have them bouncing lines off of each other, to bounce that energy off each other. And so when you're sitting there and you're watching it, just the ad-libs that these kids come up with that clearly probably weren't even in the script to begin with, it's so natural, it's so free-flowing, it's perfect, because it feels like brothers are ribbing on each other, it feels like they're banding together and they're hyping each other up. They really have that teenage energy, which obviously because they're teenage, but they have that wonderful, joyous, incredible energy where it's like, man, we're kids, whatever, let's have some fun with it. And that's great. That's exactly what this franchise needed, just that injection of just heart and soul and kinetic energy, which is totally breathless every time they're on screen. Even when they're facing dire circumstances of being milked, they're just having an absolute blast with it. So if these four kids who are playing the Turtles are absolutely fantastic, that means that somewhere along the line, whether it's the other characters, it's our humans, it's our other mutants, somebody's dropping the ball somewhere. No, not at all. The entire voice cast that we have Jackie Chan as Master Splinter, and he's great. He has such a heart and such a soul to it. Very similar to his Master Wu role in Lego Ninjago, the movie. That, but just filled with even more heart and even more soul. And he has a great time. And his comedic timing in this, by the way, is fantastic. He has some great one-liners I'm not about to spoil here. And then on our mutant side, I'm not going to cover everybody, but we do have a couple standouts. For starters, I don't know who it was that decided we need to get Ice Cube as Superfly, but honestly, this is probably the most fun you will ever hear Ice Cube have in his entire career or in his entire life. The man is clearly taking all of that material that he's given and he's flying away with it. He's having a blast. His line delivery, his snarky comments, he's great, but he's also intimidating when he needs to be, which is exactly what we needed from Superfly in this kind of movie here. Cordial and everything like that. Look at these turtles, these mutants. We didn't know that there were more mutants. But you cross me, you're going to die. And that's what I really, really appreciate. They didn't take that edge away from him, which is great. So the other big standout is easily Paul Rudd as Mondo Gekko. I mean, having Paul Rudd play the voice of some 90s burnout skater kid Gekko, it's fantastic. The rapport and that bro bond that he builds with Mikey, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil any of the jokes that they have going back and forth, but it's fantastic, and they do such a great job with it. I mean, Paul Rudd's clearly having a time as well. Everybody here is having a blast. I was shocked by a lot of the voice cast, just how kinetic and magnetic they were. I mean, everybody really just seems to mesh so well in this mutant family, which is perfect. So we're 2 for 2 on things being absolutely fantastic. So that means that we're about to strike out in this third one, which comes to the plot and the story, the pacing. No, they paced it out so well. Movie doesn't overstay its welcome. We're talking 100 minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, but it flies by. This movie's so kinetic, it's so breathless, it's so action-packed, it's so fun, it's so zippy. It flies on by, and even when we slow down and we have those quieter moments, we have the character moments, we have the emotional moments, it doesn't lose any steam. It's natural. It's a natural occurrence that happens, and then we bounce right back into the next kinetic moment there. I mean, this is a really, really well done, tightly crafted movie. Then we're going to cap it off with the action, because this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. There has to be some kind of action in some capacity. And I'll be honest with you, I actually had to look this rating up after the movie because I was kind of shocked. This is a PG movie, but this has like some super hyper violence in it. I mean, there are people that are literally getting blasted on screen. They're getting sliced and diced up. You know, people are getting stabbed. Like, we're watching it. We're watching it happen. There are people that are dying. But somehow they circumvented the ratings board and still got it slapped with that PG rating, which is great. I mean, even with the language as well. So parents kind of be aware of that. You know, there's some hyper violent moments, and then there's some language. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing terrible. They're not dropping F-bombs or anything like that. But Superfly does have some pretty aggressive lines in there. You know, some other people start dropping some lines as well. You know, of course, it's all in the sake of humor and in the sake of intimidation. But, you know, still, I was not expecting this from a PG movie. But I am very thankful that it's in a PG movie because it made this PG movie just elevate itself even more. The big question is, does Mutant Mayhem have a credit scene in any capacity? The answer here is yes. Spoiler warning, if you do not want to know what it is, then go ahead and skip ahead to where you see that spoiler warning drop off. Now, if you're still here, let's go ahead and give you a bit of a breakdown on it, but not too much where it kind of ruins the ending of the movie. So, one thing leads to another, and we need a little bit of backup, essentially, to help go after the turtles. So, one of our main human baddies mentions that they need to call in the Shredder, and then it cuts to a shot of Manhattan. It's raining, it's storming, camera keeps panning back, and then boom, we see a silhouette of a brand new Shredder. It's quick, it's brief, but the design is fantastic, and I can't wait to see what it looks like in its full capacity. I hope really what we have here is a very Thanos situation. You know, we start to tease Shredder more and more. It's a Shredder behind the shadows. You don't really bring Shredder in maybe until like the third one, hopefully. Or if they do bring him into the second one, you know, have him kind of be the man behind the curtain up until the end. Either way, with how they handled this one, I've got nothing but faith that they'll handle the sequel in an even more lovely capacity. As I mentioned earlier, tonight was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem fan event screening. This is a Paramount movie, baby, so you know that when you see the fan screening for a Paramount movie, they're going to be handing out swag. So, first up, Paramount do what Paramount does best. Look at that art print. This is a gorgeous art print. I love this. It's simple. It gets right to the point. You know exactly what it is. You know exactly what you're looking at. This might be one of the better art prints, along with like the Rise of the Beast art print from earlier in the summer as well. Like Paramount knocked it out of the park with the marketing on this one. This is a gorgeous poster. I actually wouldn't be mad if this was the cover for the Steelbook. Now this was a fun one as well. So of course, along with the posters, they always have something to hand out, whether it's, you know, like a pin or something in some capacity. So this is actually almost like a comic style book of the various covers from various issues from the Ninja Turtles. It's actually a really cool book. And then it even has the poster for the movie on the back as well. Now, I'm not sure if anybody has an AMC local to them, but at our AMC, yes, we had the free swag that they were giving out for the fan event, but there was no shortage of stuff that you could purchase as well. Now, first up, we've got the Variety Heart pins. These things were $3 each, $12 for the set, and these are adorable, you know? And of course, they go to a good cause as well. I mean, look at that. Like, these are extremely adorable. Now, the big selling point for AMC concession merch is the $30 combo that they have, which comes with a collectible popcorn metal tin with lid, foam Ninja Turtle mask, and a collectible cup with a cup topper. The cool thing is about that is that you get to choose which one you want. So, of course, I went with my boy Leo, and let's break this down just a little bit. So, for starters, yes, you do get a foam mask, which is pretty cool, you know? Man, nothing too crazy, nothing too durable, but it's a pretty cool mask. It does have the Velcro straps on. Now, I made a promise to Mrs. Taco that I wouldn't make myself out to look like any more of a than I could possibly try by wearing this mask. I did make her that promise. But hey, look, sometimes promises are meant to be broken. Next up is the cup, which is a pretty cool cup. You know, I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too, you know, fancy or special about that. It's got some great art design on it, and it does come with a removable topper, depending on your turtle of choice. It's pretty sturdy. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's a pretty sturdy little figurine up here. So this will actually look pretty cool on display, just sitting out. I do like that. It's a pretty nice cup. But the big draw here, of course, was the tin popcorn bucket. I love this. I was drawn to this as soon as I saw the leaks. Of course, you got the title on the front, but as you start to spin it, you start to see graffiti art for each of the turtles and their names and some other artwork as well, all against a slimy wall backdrop. I mean, this is great. This is a great looking bucket, but it gets even cooler. The lid is actually an NYC sewer manhole cover, which is pretty cool. It's clever. And then for something I haven't actually seen before, which is also pretty neat, and that's the inside of the bucket. I'll try to tilt this in a way where everybody can see it, but they actually have the inside of the bucket, like when you poke your head down into a manhole cover, and you can see the inside of the sewer. It's great. I love how you have all the turtles just kind of doing their own kinetic action movement. It's fantastic. That's a great bucket. Honestly, overall, for 30 bucks, you can't go wrong with that. As you can tell, overall, I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It was a fantastic movie. It's gorgeous. The fan event was in Dolby, and it looked amazing. The sound was kind of low in the theater, so I can't really comment too much on that. And I believe that the seat rumble was also kind of messed up. It didn't really kick in like major overload up until like maybe the last half hour. What we did get was fantastic. And again, visually, this is such a gorgeous movie. But the movie's a lot of fun. It's a great family movie. If you got little ones, you know, kind of be mindful of that with some of the violence, some of the language. But overall, this is a fantastic time. If you guys had a chance to check this out, whether it was at the fan event or if it was the early screening on Sunday, or if you have plans on checking it out, of course, let us know down in the comments below. If you think this is stupid and the turtles suck, look, man, I can't help you. Until next time, guys, it's been VHS Taco signing off, reminding you, don't let anybody milk you. Don't do it. Adios.